Hello everyone, welcome to the fitness segment of the morning edition. My name is Mayo, I'm the Minister of Fitness, and your fitness is my business. This morning I'm going to be telling you about a workout called floor runs. Some of you might be familiar with it. I know it as mountain climbers, but over here in Boy Roads Fitness Studios, we call them floor runs. So just take a look. So take a look at the floor runs. The positioning of your hands is
Beautiful morning to you, and for every Manchester United fans, they would be feeling on top of the world, and then also for Newcastle as they got into the semi-final of the EFL Cup for the first time since over 1967. Good morning once again and welcome to Sport Recap. I am Daniel Obasi.
And I am Memo Cynthia Asoya. Quickly starting from the local scene, where the Flying Eagles will camp in Morocco instead of Spain ahead of the next month's African Under-20 Cup of Nations on January 7th. A training camp for the country's youth team has become paramount because they need to acclimatize with the wintry weather conditions in Egypt.
Where do I was speaking to Richard yesterday, and I was like, who even brought up the idea of going to camp in Spain when you have a competition that is still on the African soil and you're going to Europe? Who even brought up the idea of even thinking of going to Spain and all of that? But I think for me, it is a good idea. Morocco, not too far from Egypt, get the same weather conditions, and it will help them acclimatize even before they travel next month. So I think this is a good call for the NFF, and I hope these boys can be able to do the country proud, knowing fully well that they have actually won this for a record 7 times.
Okay, then. Still talking the local scene, but the feminine side, where Nigerian Super Falcons striker Uche Nakano was the hero against Mexico as she fired a hat-trick in Tigres UANL Feminine 6-0 win over Atlas Feminine. Report shows that Maga netted the opening goal for Tigres in the 6th minute before Polito made it 2-0 in the 30th minute. Kanu made it 3-0 in the 50th minute and scored her second of the game, which made it 4-0 to Tigres 9 minutes later.
Uche Nakano firing on all cylinders. I think this is one star I'm very, very confident of, even as we head into the FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. But whichever way you want to put it, and even the coach has actually come out to say some things. Talking about one around Durham, he has actually come out to say that he wants to go out of the knockout stage, the group stages. That is his primary target. But it looks kind of weird because I think they should be thinking of something bigger than that, going to the final. But whichever way, it is a good one in the build-up to the FIFA Women's World Cup.
I think what he meant by that is the fact that he's going to take it one step at a time. The first target is to leave the knockout stage, and then before you talk, leave the group stage before you talk about the knockout stage, and then thinking of going to the quarterfinals or semi-finals.
Okay, let's believe so.
All right, the Nigerian Football Federation, that is the NFF, has released the schedules for this year's Federation Cup, talking about the competition. And according to a letter sent to all state football associations, the preliminary and final of the competition at the state level will commence on the 18th and end 19th March 2023. And of course, the release further stated that submission of 2 teams that will represent each state at the national level should be submitted to the state FA on the 20th of March 2023.
I saw this news yesterday. I had to just start laughing. Why was I laughing? The last edition of the Federation Cup did not even end. The one that was supposed to give us a representative to actually join the likes of Rivers United and the host who were on the continent, and then we already saw Kwara United, who did not even go far in the competition in the Federation Cup, was already sent as the 4th representative, which they actually did not even qualify. So what does this tell us? We need to begin to understand that we have to get better. Now, I won't be sad if I get to see a lot of teams, a lot of clubs decide not to play the Federation Cup this year, because last year there was nothing to show for it. Last 2 years the money was not paid. So what is going on? So I think maybe some of this club might begin to look and say, okay, until this thing gets better, we might not participate in this competition.
Well, I can say one thing for sure, that the new NFF president has been doing all things together to find out that every cup and games that are happening that is within the reach of NFF should and must happen. And you saw it when the Sunday NPFL Cup, league season started, even if it's an abridged version. He has also distributed 23 balls to each clubs. He has given 10 million naira for any conveniences. I think he's doing everything more to see that competitions happen in Nigeria.
We hope so. We hope so.
All right, to the international scene, where Virat Kohli hit his 73rd international century to help India beat Sri Lanka by 67 runs in the first one-day international in Guwahati. Talking about cricket, Kohli survived being dropped on 52 and 81 to compile 113 from just 87 balls. His second successive ODI 100. Openers Rohit Sharma and Subman Gill shared a stand of 143, making it 3 and 70 respectively, as India posted a hefty 373-7 after losing the toss.
First ODI, first win for the Indians. Virat Kohli once again in the news, the biggest star when it comes to the IPL.
Yes.
And once again starting off on a very good note for the year. Or I can say, let's see what happens as the year progresses for Virat and also for the Indians as well.
All right, moving up to boxing, where former two-time heavyweight champion, talking about Anthony Joshua, has been called out by rival Joshua Parker, with the two heavyweights looking to rebuild their careers. Parker made his return to the ring on the 21st of January against Jack Massey on the undercard of Chris Eubank Jr. fight with Liam Smith. It comes after the New Zealander was knocked out by Joe Joyce in his thriller last September. Joyce became only the third man to beat Parker, behind Joshua and Dillian White.
I think Joshua is back to the news. And then another report is the fact that he probably might announce a new trainer before April 1st, which everyone is waiting for. He doesn't have a trainer that is coming in from Hen, who gave the report. But now back to Parker, I think this will probably be a good start for him. I was looking at the fact that start low again, start from those who are not really, from there, and you can begin to build up again. He has lost it. He has lost it. He needs to build from the ashes again back to the top in the heavyweight division. And then they were still talking about the heavyweight division, Tyson Fury as well as Olis and the Usyk, they are back to it, and then tantrums flying. Then definitely we might get to see that fight happening very, very soon.
All right, to football, where the Iranian government has sentenced a professional footballer, talking about Amri Nasli Azadani, to 26 years imprisonment over protest in prison for his involvement during protest rocking the nation. It was reported that Nasri Azadani was guilty of partaking in enmity against God in the action that led to the death of security agents.
The sad one around the protests and everything down there is just a sad one that now a footballer has been involved in the whole. It tells you that whatever that goes on, everything, every other sector would one way or the other be affected. And this is just yet another young man, future, who that has been cut short. Probably he might have to appeal for this one, and let's see how the judgment goes on from there.
All right, still football. France captain Hugo Lloris has announced his retirement from international football at the age of 36, 3 weeks after his country lost to the World Cup finals on penalties to Argentina in Doha. Tottenham Hotspur goalkeeper Lloris said in an interview of reports that French sportsman said he decided to stop his international career with the feeling that he has given everything. Hugo Lloris, who made his international debut as a 21-year-old in a friendly against Uruguay in 2008 in November, bows out after becoming the France's most capped player during the World Cup.
He has seen it all, he has won it all, he has done it all. So what else would he has actually won for 2018, captain France to the World Cup title? 2022, he played in the final, finalist and all of that. What more should he ask for? I think it's a good one for he has done everything for the French national team. And they're still talking about retirement. We saw Gareth Bale also retiring from professional football. But for you, which would you say was the favorite moment for you all through the career of Gareth Bale?
I think it's the one he played with Barca, where he ran from the post sideline. He pushed the ball forward and then moved out from the pitch and dusted Mark Bacha ran over. He moved the ball and left Magbacha, ran over, picked the ball, and then went to score. That was an excellent one from Gareth Bale. And also his bicycle kick that he did with Real Madrid during one of the Champions League. That's the two final. That's the two most, for me, the moments I can used to remember Gareth Bale. But he had a wonderful career, and I must blame it on injury. First of all, injury had a lot to do with Gareth Bale, and it was just so sad that we're seeing him leaving both club and our nation football. But talking about the France, we've seen that in the news that the France president, I mean the chief for Football Association France is they're telling him to resign because of a statement he made that he would not give Zidane that allowance to coach the national football. And they said it's disrespectful, and that made me feel like there's a lot happening in the France Football Club because France Football Nation, I mean not the club, because we've seen Matuidi go, we've seen Benzema go, and now Hugo Lloris is going to, like, they are retiring, and it begs the question, what is happening in France?
I think there is just one or two factors. One thing we're not seeing in the open. One person might be quick to say Kylian Mbappe is at the center of everything, or you can probably want to say the ego and all of that. But I feel, like you said, there is something, and that is why. And then even for the president, the FFF president, he's also not letting go. Ego trying to set in and all of that. And then you get to see everyone trying to brush up and feel lord over the next person. I think that's just what is happening with the French national. We saw Paul, but I wouldn't be surprised if N'Golo Kante also says he has retired from the French national team.
Pogba hasn't said anything.
So this is just the issues, and we just hope things can get even better for them. And then we also saw Benitez talking about Martinez being the new coach of the Portuguese national team. And then before we go, let's also bring to your notice that João Felix would be traveling to London for medicals as he seeks to secure that loan move from Atletico Madrid to Chelsea. And also, just like we said earlier, Manchester United in the FA Cup defeated Charlton by 3-0, while Newcastle also qualified for the semi-finals of the EFL Cup as they defeated Leicester City by 2-0.
And before we go, France club Paris Saint-Germain has set a record for the highest ever wage bill in football at £643 million per year. And that figure is the signing of Lionel Messi, Sergio Ramos, Achraf Hakimi, and others in the 2021/2022 season, leading to a 45% leap in their expenditure. Is this good for business? We'll talk about that when we come back. Definitely when we come right to you on Friday with more stories. My name is Memo Cynthia Asoya.
And I am Daniel Obasi.
Thank you for watching.